Welcome back to consecutive day 1226 of the Diary of a Runpreneur. And today's episode, I want to talk to you about facing adversity on the home straight to running a marathon. So remember to give this a subscribe, share, like and comment, as the more people we get in front of, the more money we raise on my fundraising mission to save the lives of children by attempting the ultimate ultramarathon. All the information about the challenge, how you get involved, is in the link in the comments below. Thank you as always. Let's get started. So, consecutive day 1226 of the Diary of a Runpreneur. And today's topic is facing adversity on the home straight to running a marathon. It's Monday. I'm supposed to be running the 10th anniversary Yorkshire Marathon in 6 days' time. I did my last long run, well, my only long run to be honest with you, during my training plan. I run to Tanda, which is a specific training plan based around average weekly distance versus average pace for that weekly distance, and it spits out a predicted marathon time. Now I've done this training plan on numerous occasions. It's been incredibly accurate. So training has been a challenge, I'm not going to lie. Plantar fasciitis still lingering in my left foot, calf strain and quad strain on my right leg, but I've run in Cyprus in 40-degree heat. I've managed to get my training plan completed, last one being yesterday. This week is all about recovery running, a couple of marathon pace runs just to keep myself in the mix, and then big day on Sunday. Yesterday's half marathon run was harder than I anticipated. I ran it at slightly quicker than the marathon pace, but it was harder than I anticipated. So that knocked me a little bit, but perhaps not as much as the news today that all four members of my immediate family, my wife and my two children, have all tested positive for COVID. Fortunately, at this moment in time, I haven't. So whether my immune system is a bit more robust when it comes to COVID, I don't know. Or maybe I'm just going to get it in the next couple of days. That's probably the most likely outcome. Then I need to take advice on implications of, can you run when you've got COVID? Well, I've run through COVID on two separate occasions. So, but what is the impact of COVID on performance, and is it the responsible thing to do running a marathon race if you've got COVID? I'll be outside and all that side of things. So if that happens, I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. It might be that I have to pull out, which would be pretty devastating, especially as I've overcome huge amounts of adversity to get to this stage, and then to have to pull out at the last minute would be devastating. And then I'm thinking, do I run a marathon on the Sunday anyway, because I've trained for it, and try and get the time that I wanted? Is it dangerous running that, pushing your body to that extreme if you get COVID? I don't know. Lots of ifs, buts and maybes, and based on my philosophy about worrying and about not worrying about things I can't control this. Well, to a certain degree, I keep away from my family members, but it's pretty difficult keeping away from all four of them for the next 6 days. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to have to fulfill parental duties as best I can, depending on how my wife's coping. To be fair, she's been up and down, but generally speaking, she's still functioning. Eldest son, who suffered with long COVID, psychologically it's been a knock for him, but he's had illnesses and stuff since on COVID, and he's come through okay, so fingers crossed, no problem there. And my two youngest children, my little girl and my youngest boy, don't seem to have any ill effects at this moment in time, even though they've tested positive today. So it's a bit of it's messing with my mind, I'm not going to lie, but I'm going to stick to not worrying about things I can't control. But I have to prepare myself for the worst case scenario, which is I have to pull out because it's a responsible thing to do. I can't conduct, I don't know what the right word is, but I catch COVID and I have to pull out for responsible reasons. But I'll take advice on that if that comes. And that's the worst case scenario. I've trained really hard through injuries to get to this stage, and not to be able to run the 10th anniversary Yorkshire Marathon would be devastating. But you know what? I can accept it. And if I can accept it, what can I do about it? What can I do to make that worst case scenario better? Well, I could potentially run a marathon on Sunday because I can, but would that be the right decision? Would that just be increasing my risk of injury for no potential gain other than potentially getting time, when I could quite easily book in for another marathon in spring and train for that again? So who knows? I don't know. But I'm prepared to face the worst case scenario, and it is what it is, you know. But yeah, it's a tough one to take, but it hasn't got to that stage yet, and I might get through this week unscathed and be able to compete as normally. But then you're constantly psychologically thinking, have I got an illness? You know, yesterday's run was harder than I wanted it to be. Is that because that's the early stages of catching an illness? I don't know. I mean, these are all ifs, buts and maybes. So yeah, I think my learnings from my diary have been very apt with the reading material that I've been reading about how to worry less and live more, a book by Dale Carnegie. And yeah, it's how do you deal with worry? Well, what are you worrying about? I'm worrying about not being able to run the Yorkshire Marathon that I've just trained 8 weeks for. What's the worst case scenario? I'm unable to run it because I've got COVID and the advice suggests that I shouldn't run it. And then 3, what can I do about that to make that, what am I going to do about that if the worst case happens? Well, I've got choices. I could run a marathon on my own in Cambridgeshire, or I could just decide to not do it and try and rest and recuperate whilst doing my minimum daily mileage. And will that make the worst case scenario a little bit better? Well, if I've accepted worst case and I've got some options if that happens, then I can live with it, you know, and I can prepare myself for a marathon in the spring of 2024, and we go again. I've still got many marathons in me, and we live to fight another day. It's not there yet, but that's just how you process worry and how you can deal with it, stop it eating away at you. So yeah, I'll keep you posted over the next few days. Thank you as always for your support. Please remember to give this a subscribe, share, like and comment, as more people get in front of, the more money we raise on my fundraising mission to save the lives of children by attempting the ultimate ultramarathon. All the information about the challenge taking it involved is in the link in the comments below. Thank you as always. Stay positive, stay happy, and see you again tomorrow.